As you got older, what is something difficult you had to accept about dating and relationships? That most people are going to choose to love people who aren't and never were good for them. And they will in turn take out said pain it causes on others as opposed to finding someone who is good for them. Sometimes two people just aren't compatible. It doesn't mean they are bad people or that something is wrong with one or both of them, they just don't work as a couple. Arguing productively is a good thing. It may suck, but as long as progress is being made, it's generally worth it to communicate confrontational things to your partner. There are only two difficult aspects of dating and relationships. The first one is dating, the other is relationships. I've ended relationships in the past for really dumb things, like if they just got on my nerves on the wrong day, in picking a fight and packing my stuff. Now I'm married and this woman has the ability to drive me up the wall sometimes. My eye twitches when she chews certain types of food, and she snores like nothing I have ever heard before when she doesn't use her sleep apnea machine. But I can deal with things like that now. Honestly, it was more weird to realize I was accepting it as opposed to difficult to accept. She knows what drives me up the wall but looks cute when she's doing it. She's chewing on food I made for her cause it's her favorite. And she's snoring beside me every night with her leg thrown over mine. That you have to choose to be with that person because eventually, the butterflies will fade. I don't care how much of your type someone is either physically, mentally, emotionally, financially, etc. You will eventually get used to it and that wow factor will disappear and you're left with a human being that's just as flawed as you. You can either choose to continue chasing that high with multiple people or learn that relationships and love require more than just your temporary feelings of lust or perfection to work correctly. Everyone has baggage, it's how you carry it that counts. Dating is for the ugly, marriage is for the beauty, not on an appearance level. But when you're dating someone you have to understand that you are going to see sides of each other that you do not enjoy. That's when you're tested on unconditional love. Can I still love this person even though this situation is ugly? Can we converse each other to common ground? When you can, that's when you get married and commit to unconditional love. That's when things should be all cute and lovey-dovey. Love is not enough. You need compatibility and a certain level of emotional intelligence for it to work. That they are significantly harder than I could ever expect. I'm not ready for them. Having a low self-esteem is going to make dating hell. Relationships simply are not for everyone. You need to be comfortable with being 100 real with yourself if you want it to work. So many relationships are ruined because one or both parties have deep-seated insecurities which manifest in ways such as an excessive need for validation or addiction, etc. I realize that I don't have many more lives when it comes to dating someone with a cat. So I'm out of the pool. Before it kills me. I can't jump straight into a relationship if I don't know the person well at one and well, which makes me sad because I'm really fucking horny. BJT can't get close to someone yet. It doesn't work out for everyone. Sometimes you have to be okay with making your own happily ever after. For me, as I got older and went from being married and active duty military to being divorced and retired and newly single and back on the dating scene, the hardest part was getting used to everybody's idiosyncrasies that would sometimes end up chapping my ass to the point it ended one or two. But such is life. But each new adventure is a give-take, and honestly it did take me a bit to get used to that. Without effort on my part, I don't have the capacity to have the trust or empathy necessary for a committed relationship. That they are not for me. It takes 10 years to get to know a person. I have found that it's really hard to find someone you're compatible with, you're attracted to, and with whom you share the same values and is single. I want to find someone who is 25-40, Christian, conservative, doesn't smoke cigarettes or weed, doesn't chew tobacco, has a full-time job, I don't care how much a year they make, and shares similar interests as me like video games, has decent hygiene, especially dental hygiene, and is decently attractive and not super overweight. Lol. Will I ever find that? Am I asking for too much? I don't know, but I know enough to know that I won't settle and be miserable this time. Been married for 11 years and we're getting a divorce because we don't share the same values and his mental illness has made it impossible for him to be a functioning, equally contributing member to our family. I'm finally getting free and my kid and I are much happier. I hope to find true love. It breaks my heart that I've never found it, but now that I see freedom on the horizon, I'm not going to give up. 3. That after 21 years, if I'm ever single again, I am single for life. I've been with my partner since we were 15 and 16, so there was no real dating. We just finished HS, got jobs, got a flat. Watching people I know navigate the dating scene these days honestly makes me anxious, and it's not me. It's basically window shopping. As for relationships, given we've been together since children, we learned and grew together, so flaws and all, I love that man and he myself. I don't want to learn to live with someone else's issues, and like, how is two separate adults, are you just supposed to merge your lives? Yep, that's me. Either this man never leaves me or I die single, lol. The idea of staying in a relationship as long as no one cleats or hits each other sounds great on paper. But you're allowed to leave a relationship that is still in those perimeters. There are more types of abuse than just physical, and it's okay to love someone and still distance yourself from them if they continue to cross boundaries or impacts your health in any way. You are the most important person in your life. It's okay to be selfish if it means protecting yourself and your happiness. That someone else's opinion about me isn't necessarily true, and I had to do the work to figure out who I am. That things not being forever doesn't mean you failed. Being 40 is a weird age, too old for anyone under 30, but to going for over 50, kind of a dating limbo. There is no finish line, and it can end at any point regardless of how committed you are.